Alright. We are live. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Ruin an Hour, a safe place to talk about anything from sobriety, addiction, depression, anxiety, balance of life. We got RX.
Yay. Thank you for the round of applause. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll be here for the next hour.
Yes. Alright. So what do you want to talk about today?
Okay, so today, I've been down the rabbit hole, okay? I've been down the rabbit hole for the past, 3 months, right? So, I have certain health things going on that have been going on, and all that. So, I had to, step away from pharmaceuticals, right? So, I was like, okay, bro, I don't want to take pills. I don't want to deal with that kind of stuff. So, how can I heal via nature? So, I started learning about different stuff, and then somehow I came across these classes. So, the classes were, number one was, aromatherapy. And I was like, bro, I have to learn about this stuff, right? So, I started learning about aromatherapy. I started taking this online class, and I ended up I'm a certified aromatherapist now. So, I think that's super dope.
Yeah, let's go.
And then the other class that I just finished up as well is naturopathy, which I'm certified as a naturopathist now as well. Body via nature, it was like, bro, I can't just have all this information. I have to give this information, to the people, So I was like, oh, what better place to do it than on Ruin an Hour with our good people, out there.
So, what is a nature healer? What exactly does that entail?
Okay, so it's basically healing the whole person. So not just a symptom that you have, oh, I have a headache. No, healing the whole person, like mind, body, and soul healing.
Yeah.
A holistic approach.
Okay.
So this right here is something that we've seen, throughout history. With Chinese medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, even Western medicine, Ayurveda, I think that's how you say it, medicine, Taoism, it's just been seen all across the board throughout history. But there was a point in time where, it wasn't looked at that good as in a good light. It was considered quackery, it wasn't good. Yeah, so it was oh, if you're doing those herbalism things, you're in some big trouble. So I really the history of it is really amazing, and that's what kind of stood out to me. It's nature is being demonized by the freaking Catholic and Christian churches. That's kind of a big deal, This happened in the Dark Ages, nonetheless, but still, it happened throughout history.
Yeah.
And it's we as a people are starting to connect back to that in record numbers right now, in this century, which is amazing to me. So I'm happy to be one of the people to learn these things and just continue to gain as much knowledge as I can about it, so that way I can help other people. Because as most of you guys might know, I am a therapist, a mental health therapist. So I've been a mental health therapist for a long time now, maybe 8 years. So it's bro, I like working with the people. I want to help them and do therapy with them, but it's so many rules. It's so much red tape. It's you can only talk about this. You can only suggest this. You can only do this, and you cannot talk about nature healing. It has to be oh, here goes this pill to take. So I'm not super in favor of that.
Who puts those boundaries up?
The government.
The government?
Yes, everything is oh man, it's very strict.
Oh my
it's very strict.
gosh.
You have to be diagnosing people. You have to be, referring them to these psychiatrists who are going to put them on pills.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's don't get me wrong. I think that some people probably will benefit from that route, but some people won't. So it's in no way is my time here meant to tell you to get off of your medication and go with nature. I'm not saying that. Talk to your doctor. I got to put that disclaimer out there. But educate yourself. Learn more about different things that are going to help you and advance you as a person, no matter what it is that you're dealing with, whether it's mental illness, whether it's addiction, whether it's a negative self-image, whatever it is. You can definitely use nature to heal yourself in so many different ways. Man, I went down the rabbit hole and it was a lot of fun, and I'm happy to be back.
That's amazing. Hell yeah. Well, already, I know that you talked about this with me, but Desi asked, are you doing Reiki?
Oh my God. Thank you so much for asking that, Desi. I'm literally taking a Reiki class now. Okay, so once I got done with aromatherapy and naturopathy, I'm bro, I got to do something else. So I was let's do Reiki. So I started my Reiki class. and I have to like an attunement tomorrow. So after I get attuned, because I'm at level 1. So level 1 is where like you learn, and it's like for you to practice it for yourself. And then once you get attuned, you're able to go on to heal other people using Reiki. And then once you're like a Reiki master, that's when you can attune other people and, you know, give them Reiki sessions. So yes, Reiki is something that I've been interested in like a very long time. And yeah, it's so beautiful. It's so amazing. The story of how Reiki was discovered, like it goes back to, you know, us being disconnected from, you know, nature for so long systematically. There was a guy, I think his name was Osudi. I have all my notes right here.
Damn, you have a ton of notes. Oh
yes, I write everything down.
That is awesome.
I write down like every single thing.
This is a lost art, handwriting.
Oh, thank you.
Analog.
Oh my God, that's so funny. So yeah, so his name was Dr. Usui. That was his name. I want to get his name right. His name was Dr. Usui. And he was like a doctor, and he was like, yo, I gotta figure out how to like heal people. So he went to this mountain, and then he went up there for like 21 days. He collected like 21 stones, and every morning he would throw one stone down the mountain, and he was just up there, and he was, you know, connecting, you know, with nature, with, you know, the divine being. And finally, like on the 21st day, that's when he said that a light came up out of nowhere. The light came to him and hit him in his third eye, and he received all the knowledge and information of what Reiki is, how to use it, and he just had the divine information. So he was like so excited. He started running down the mountain, and then he hurt his ankle or his foot or something like that. And, you know, he's like, oh my God, I'm bleeding. So he's like, wait a minute, I'm going to try out this Reiki stuff. So he put his hand on his body, and he healed his body. So then he went into town. He saw some girl. She's like giving out food, and the girl was like in pain, and then he put his hands on her. He straight up like healed her, like right then and there. The family was so happy because this girl was like, you know, in all this pain for so long. Yeah. They like, you know, gave him like free food and all this stuff. Yeah. And that's when he just went around, and he, you know, got some other people interested, and he would be out teaching other people. And from there, it's like so many like, you know, prolific people who have, you know, come from the Reiki line that started with him. And this wasn't that long ago. This was like maybe in like the 1900s sometime. Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
Oh, wow. Damn, I thought it was like an ancient thing.
Yeah, I know. That's what I thought also. This must be from like a long time ago.
Yeah.
But no, it wasn't that long ago. This was in like, I want to get the year right. Yeah, this was for sure in the 1800s. So I don't want to be looking in here forever. Yeah, it was the 1900s. Yeah, this was for sure the 1900s, like the early 1900s sometime. And he taught so many people, and like those people taught so many people. So it's like, you know, that's where it comes from. And I thought that was like so beautiful, so interesting to like know that information. Yeah. It really made me want to like, you know, continue to go forward and eventually become a Reiki master.
Dope.
So yeah, then I'll be able to like heal the people, you know, heal the people.
That's amazing.
Yes.
So what's involved with Reiki healing, nature healing, connecting back to nature? Yes.
So all of them pretty much work together to like, you know, heal the person. Like it's not just about your body. It's about your aura as well. And I know back in the day, the aura was like a taboo thing. Or do we have an aura? Oh, no way we have an aura. But now we have cameras that can literally pick up your aura and show, you know, where you're having issues at, you know? Yeah. Like, it's some powerful stuff, you know, it's really, really cool. So it all just goes back to, you know, to healing the person to live a healthy life, you know, to be in balance. And that's what it all goes back to.
Okay. Yeah. How do you do it? Like, what are the steps?
Okay, so definitely, you know, number one thing is mind, body, and soul, right? It's three things, but it's really one, you know? It's three things, but it's really one.
Yeah.
And you have to like have like that balance of all three, because once you get out of balance for a long time, that's when disease comes in, you know? That's when that comes in. And
why do you say it like disease?
Because that's like the breakdown of the word. It's like that's where it comes from. It's like dis-ease, and then they put it together and it's disease.
Constant wordplay with you.
Right. Y'all peeping, right? Y'all peeping, right? Yeah, so like healing obviously has to take place on a physical, spiritual, and mental level, and emotional health is also very important. And it also talks a lot about like lifestyle choices, like your diet, what you're putting in your body, Exercise is like a huge thing as well. Like if you're not doing no exercise, not getting no type of physical nothing going on, like that right there is opening up the door for, you know, sickness and disease to come in.
Yeah.
And even if you're like a healthy person and you eat right, and you know you're spiritual or whatever, you have to be doing some sort of like physical movement.
Definitely.
Like if you look back at like yoga, for example, yoga is like amazing. Like it, you know, channels your chi and it lets your chi flow. And even there's another one called, I think it's called Qigong. That one as well is pretty much kind of similar to yoga. Like those are like ancient practices, and it was always done by everyone every single day to keep their health going. But we've been so disconnected from these things for like years and years, like literally like decades, like maybe even like over a century or something, you know. So it's like once we connect back to these things, like we will notice like improvements in our health. And lifestyle choices, like I said before, are very important. Diet, what we put in our body, like that right there is super important. You know, how you spend your day, you know, the thoughts that you have, like all this stuff is energy. Like we have to like, you know, tap into like that positive energy. And bring balance to our bodies. Yes.
Hell yeah. So like, what do you do? What have you changed since you've like made this discovery?
Oh my God, I do yoga. So I used to always do yoga all the time, but then I kind of, you know what I'm saying, got away from it, you know? And then I started having back problems. And because I have scoliosis. So like if I don't keep up with it, then it's gonna, you know, it's not gonna be too good. So definitely like every morning I have like my routine now. Like every morning I wake up, I do yoga. I have like, you know, my prayer time, and then like incorporating that at nighttime as well. Like I don't go super hard at nighttime like I do in the morning, because the morning time for me, before, I don't know what it is, but before at nighttime, I was able to like do all these things. The daytime, I never really did it before. I think it was you who told me that you wake up and you do like affirmations for the day, and you like set your intentions for the day. And I was like, wow, in the morning, wow, that's cool. But now I wake up and I do those things. So it's like, you know, I have to like look at myself and say, okay, like what areas can I improve? You know, where can I do better at to like, you know, allow the chi to flow a little bit better for me, because it starts with me and then it works its way outward. Like what can I do? So also having a green drink every morning. I always keep Press Juicery. That's like my favorite. They have a green drink from Press Juicery. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. If you're not, get familiar with it. It's amazing. They have it at Costco. But yeah, I drink that every morning, like 8 ounces of that. I have like vitamins, I do the yoga, and I just feel so good. I feel like charged up, like I'm like ready for the world, you know? So I've been like going through like, you know, some rough periods. It's been up and down for me, to be honest. So it's like doing this, it just like balances everything out. Like it just keeps my mental in just like a very like clear state. So I just feel like so much better that I'm like, you know, really reconnecting, because I think about back in like 2009, 2010, 2011, like in those days when I was first learning so much stuff, and I was like, you know, adapting to so many different things, and I had this whole like reawakening. And I feel like now I'm at that same point again in my life where it's like, okay, I was like reawakening back then, and now I'm here, and there's, you know, another level to break through into. So it's like, you know, some people wait till the new year to do this stuff, but don't wait till the new year, people. You got to get started now. Okay, don't wait. Don't say, oh, New Year's, I'll go and I'll do this and I'll do that. No, you have to start now. You know, if you don't start now, then, you know, when are you going to start? Don't put off until tomorrow what you can do today. Like, seriously.
Totally. So, like, what else besides diet, exercise, then where does the soul come into play? Like, what do you do to exercise the soul? Meditation
is like so important. Oh my God, meditation is so important. And you don't even have to be like, oh, let me meditate, you know, for like 25 minutes. Even if you just have like 5 minutes, it's best to do it first thing in the morning or right before bed, because that's when your mind is like, you know, more susceptible to, you know, shutting down and quieting down. And if you don't like to sit in silence, you can always do a guided meditation, and there's like a ton of them on YouTube. Find one that you like. If you have the Calm app, that I used to have that app. I thought the app was like super dope, but I kind of like got away from it. Well, I was getting it free through my Kaiser, and I kind of just like didn't like subscribe to it forever, because it's like I already know most of that stuff, and I can look for it on YouTube. Like, why pay like all this money a month when you can like go on YouTube for it, you know? But if you prefer the Calm app, that app isn't so bad. But yes, guided meditations are perfect. Early in the morning, you know, late at night, whatever time is like best for you. Like, definitely do some meditations, and, you know, it just like, you know, brings everything together for you. It like makes your vision a lot more clear. Like, it makes your mind more clear. You know, it like cleanses your soul. And then like for me, journaling and writing, like, you know, self-expression. Like, I'm not the best artist, but I will sit down and like draw for like an hour. Like, that right there is like, you know, it's really therapeutic for me.
Yeah.
It's really therapeutic for me.
Interesting. Yeah. What do you exactly do when you meditate?
So whenever I meditate, it's usually right after I do yoga. Like, right after I do my yoga, I just sit down and it's just pure quietness. I have to just like be quiet and like not like focus on my breathing. That's what I do. I focus on my breathing, and it's like in through your nose, out through your mouth, belly breaths. You know, where you inhale into your stomach and then you release through your mouth, like exhale through your mouth, like that. So that's what I usually do, and it's not always like an hour or nothing crazy. It's sometimes like 10 minutes or something. It's like a cool down from the yoga for me personally. Yeah, I go running right after or whatever. But yeah, that's like super beneficial. But like, I know when I first got started, guided meditations really helped me a lot, because I didn't know how to like quiet my mind. Like what does that even mean? You know, it's like you're sitting there and you're like, oh crap, I gotta go and take the chicken out of the freezer. Yeah. Oh man, I gotta go to the store. It's like you like keep like thinking about stuff, so your mind needs to be somewhere, you know? I didn't know how to get started at first. So I used guided meditations, and from there, it took time for me, but after a while, it was like, okay, I could just, you know, meditate with like nature sounds, like raindrops or rainforest or whatever, and then like the drumming or whatever. And then it got to the point now where it's like I can just sit still and just, you know, or lay down even. Like I prefer to sit, because if I lay down I might get tired. So yeah, I'm like all tired.
I
like,
would totally do that.
It's so good to just like lay here. It's like sitting up for me is like, you know, better. It also helps with like, you know, the belly breaths and the breathing and all that. Yeah, I've
heard, I'm reading this book right now, and it talks a lot about meditation, and it talks about having an anchor. So your breathing is your anchor. Yeah. So man, I wish I had my phone near me, but I wrote down all these cool quotes about meditation, and one of them is like, your mind is going to wander. It's going to.
Exactly. Yeah, just
that's part of meditating. Yeah, exactly. Then just as soon as you're like, oh, I got to take the chicken out of the freezer, I feel like, well, my breathing sounds like this.
Yes.
So having that anchor is like super important.
Yes. And once you like start doing it, like your body is like a machine, right? Yeah. So it's like you can program your mind, you can program your body, or reprogram your mind and reprogram your body to whatever it is that you want to reprogram it to. You know, so if you want to say, hey, like I want to start meditating every day, but you don't know where to get started, try doing the guided meditations or, you know, simple meditations for like 10 minutes in the morning. And just do it consistently. Like, do it like, you know, Monday through Friday, or like, you know, 4 days a week or something. Like, start off, but kind of like go at it, you know, like rigorously. And then after a while, like your body, like it's just going to be like second nature to you. You're going to like snap right into it. It'll be super easy. Yeah.
Word. Somebody asked, do you know anything about timeline therapy and neuro-linguistic programming?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I don't know either. But I wanted to ask you.
Linguistic sounds like something with like language or something. Is that what that's about?
Yeah, perhaps.
Timeline therapy. I think that right there has to do with like creating like a timeline of your life. Like what happened when you were a child? You know, that's more like really in depth therapy. Is like I do more so like solution focused therapy, which is more short term. But there are therapists out there who will do like a biopsychosocial, look back to your whole past, where they want to know what happened on, you know, June 18th of 1998, like all this crazy stuff. Like I do know, like, you know, people who go to therapy and get that kind of stuff. I know therapists who do that kind of therapy, but with me, I work with kids, so it's always like solution focused. It's not like long-term therapy where I'm gonna be with this kid like forever. Usually I'm with the kid for like a year to like 3 years maybe, and they got some issues that need to be addressed now. We don't got time to talk about what happened to you when you were a kid. You know, like, if it comes up, it comes up. But it's like, what's going on now? What can we fix now? Like we have to do that. So that's the kind of therapy that I do. There are different forms of therapy out there, but solution focused for me personally is like the most effective in my opinion for like, you know, if you need things to happen right now.
Yeah. Interesting. Do you incorporate what you learned into your therapy practice ever?
No, because in therapy you cannot I can't show up with this and be like, you know what, you need some flower remedies. I can't show up and tell the clients this. Like, I will get in trouble, you know? So that's why, like, you know, I had to kind of like step away from my role as a therapist, because I feel like I'm able to help, but not in the way that I need to be helping. So it's like, you know, it's just me. I just feel like I want to do more, and it's like, you know, that gate right there. You can't go past this gate. You can't talk about this stuff. You got to do this. I don't like that. I don't think that's fair. I don't even think that's real. I mean, therapy is good, but it's like when the setting that I work in, which is like with kids is way different. Like, you cannot do just whatever the hell you want to do. You can't show up and do that. Like, you'll get in like a lot of trouble. I had to like leave a job before because I was not agreeing with them, and I was sliding the kids some information and they parents, and I got in trouble, and then was like, oh, you can't do this and you can't do that, and I was like, well, fuck y'all, I'm out.
What if you have your own practice?
That's what I want to do. I want to have my own practice to where I don't have to deal with the red tape. You know what I'm saying? But I can't, I would have to still adhere to like the ethical guidelines. And ethical guidelines would be like, you know, client-patient privileges and stuff like that. Like, you still have to go by that stuff, but I would be able to incorporate this kind of stuff if I wanted to. Yeah. So it's like, you know, getting your own practice, you got to get like 3,000 hours. I'm probably close to 2,000, and like, you know, it's like a lot of time that it takes to get those hours, and you can't just work with one population. You got to work with all populations, every diagnosis, because once you go and sit to take your test, which costs like $800 to take this fucking test. Yeah. Once you go take that test, they're gonna ask you about all kinds of stuff, and you have to pass that test to be licensed, and it's not easy. Like, it's an extremely hard test. It's like 4 hours to take the test or something crazy like that. So it's like, you know, you can't just work with one population. So that's my thing. It's hard for me sometimes to work with like adults, drug addicts, the elderly, the you know, disabled, the this, the that. It's like so many different things, and it's like sometimes I get too emotionally involved. Like, I was working with this woman, and she had like a really, really bad background, and I was like having like nightmares about the things that she would tell me, and it was like, okay, I got to step away. Like, I can't, you know. It's very hard to take that on. So
yeah, how do you not envelop those things?
They say, oh, you leave it at the door. Like, what the hell does that mean? Like, I won't be thinking about this lady's freaking traumatic life in fucking North Korea, South Korea, and fucking communist China for like the next 3 days. Like, oh my god, yeah, it's really hard. They say leave it at the door, but it's like how, you know, because it's like if you're very like empathetic and like you get like yourself like emotionally involved, it's hard to pull yourself away. But there are some, you know, therapists out there who are just like, oh, like that's them, it's not me, I don't care about that. They're like, they have like no empathy. So it's like,
how are they even in the line of work?
Exactly. I think that it's good for them to an extent. Yeah. But overall, it's like, bro, why are you even in this field? Like, some people only want to do therapy for a paycheck though, because, you know, it's good money, but you gotta want to be there, you know?
Totally.
Like, yeah.
That's insane.
Like fucking robots or something. It's the therapy field is kind of crazy.
So leave it at the door.
Yes,
don't bring it home with you. Yes, let it go.
Yes, and then every therapist needs a therapist. Yes, every therapist needs a therapist. You gotta have an outlet.
Totally.
Yeah, but one thing that I started doing was wearing a rhodonite crystal bracelet on my hand, to where it puts up like a barrier with me and the person, and that was helping. Okay. But then I ended up, you know, leaving that job and going to work with the kids again. And then with the kids, like it's all good. Like I work with the kids like best from like any other population, like the at-risk youth that I work with. Like, that to me is like second nature. Like, I could just like click with them very well.
Why? Is it maternal, do you think? You're just
I know where they're coming from, you know? Okay. Like, I used to be like this badass kid. You feel me? I was like, oh man, I was a kid once and I was not nice. So it's like, I know their struggles, I know where they're coming from, I know like their background. Like I could like relate to them. So it's like, I wish I had somebody to help me, you know? So I want to help them. And that's the population I want to always work with like long term. But it's hard for me to like, you know, work with like drug addicts. Like sometimes like the older ones, they don't like me because they're like, oh, you don't have no experience, you never smoked crack before. And it's like, we're not here to talk about me, bro. Like, we're here to talk about like you. So they don't so they see certain people, if you're not like older than them, if you don't have like experience, like they don't want to hear nothing from you. Like, these people are like 50 years old, 60 years old, like they're older, their mindset is different. Like they're from like a whole different era, you know, so it's like a generational gap. So it's like, you know, I tried to stick it out with them, but I was getting cussed out like every day. So, and it was like, all you gotta do is just sit there and say yes, and tell me how that makes you feel. That's all you can say back. Yeah. So, I had to get it out of there.
Yeah, word. Yeah, I've been looking into doing some sort of recovery therapy myself,
nice.
And it is interesting, like what you can and can't say. It's like you can't really talk about yourself at all. It's
no, it's not about you at all. You can't be like, hey, I know where you've been. Like they'll use that against you eventually.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you can't tell me anything. You used to be doing the same thing. Yeah. Oh yeah, you think you're better than me now? Like, yeah, it'll backfire on you.
Yeah,
it'll backfire on you.
Do you get into situations with your therapy that you like can't talk about yourself, but you're like, okay, this would help if I talked about myself right now?
Yeah, but you would get in a lot of trouble, especially working with kids.
Yeah.
Because if they go back and say, oh, well, Miss Castillo told me, oh no, you'll be in so much trouble for stuff like that. So you have to just be like, oh, like, let me help you, like, you know, like, oh, I've been down this path before, like, and that kid ain't gonna believe you. Oh yeah, fucking right. Shut up, bitch. Da, da, da. Like that's how they are, you know. The kids in the jails and stuff. That's how they talk. So yeah, like you know, it's like a tug of war kind of thing sometimes. But you know, you have to just. But for me, it's a challenge. But it's like okay, like unlocking like this lock, like this combination. Like I don't know the combination to the lock, but I have to figure it out. So if that didn't work, let's try something else. Like let's just try different approaches with this, you know, kid to like, you know, unlock them. And then once you unlock this kid, it's like the floodgates just open. They open up to you, you know, like they're able to like, you know, trust you and confide in you, and you're able to help them, and therapy goes very smoothly after that. But it's just getting to that point that kind of sucks.
Word. That's the true work in therapy.
Yes. Unlocking the child that doesn't want to be there. With like adults, I think that it might be easier these days. I think I might want to like, you know, try my hand at it because more people are going to therapy. They want to be in therapy. It's not court appointed. It's not like, oh, the judge said I gotta be here, so I'm here. Yeah. And that's what I'm used to, you know?
Yeah.
But people want to be in therapy now. People are like coming out like, you know, in like record numbers right now and saying, hey, I want to talk to someone about my problem. I want help. I want to have a solution to what I'm going through. I want someone to just listen to me. Yeah. Like no one listens to me. No one validates me. And it's like, you know, that might be a lot easier, you know, to like deal with like adults who want to be in therapy. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, that dynamic might be a little bit different.
Yeah,
right?
It was not like that. Like 5 years ago, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, it was not like that.
Really?
Like, no, people weren't coming out. Oh my! Over the last 10 years, I would say, therapy has changed so much. Like the dynamics. Even the DSM got updated. The DSM is like the Bible of the therapy stuff, right? That's where like all the diagnoses. There was like a DSM-4, and now it's like a DSM-5. So it's like upgraded, and it's like all kinds of new diagnoses in there and all this stuff going on. So that's super cool. You know what I'm saying? Like we're having like advancements in therapy, like you know, like in our age. In our time or whatever. Yeah. Because the last time that it was updated was like a very long time ago.
Really?
Yes. I think that there was like controversy because in the first DSM, maybe I shouldn't say that. Never mind. I don't want to talk about it. I was going to say something really edgy, but I don't want to get canceled, so I'm going to stop.
Yeah, don't get canceled. It's not all it's cracked up to be. But yeah, if you guys have any questions for RX, feel free to ask them. I'm trying to read all of them, but so yoga for somebody that like is wanting to get into it, would you say go to a studio? Would you say like look up on YouTube how to do it?
So it depends on what level of yoga you want to go to. If you want to just do casual yoga where like you're just like, you know, at the privacy of your own home, there are so many like cool people out there. There's a girl that I watch. Oh my God, what is Mad Fit? I think that her name might be Mad Fit or something like that. She is amazing. Okay, I watched this girl. I'm pretty sure that's her name. I watched this girl. She's dope. There's other yoga people out there who would do like, you know, beginner yoga, but there are also like parks. If you go to like your local park, there's probably like a yoga group that meets up at that park. And also whatever city you live in, like look on like the city's website and look for like recreational stuff or whatever. There should be like a catalog that has like classes in your city, and yoga is always on there. Like it's like morning classes, night classes, indoor, outdoor, everything. So definitely whatever it is that you want to do, just look that up. Like if you want to just do it at home and you want to not be with a whole group of people, you know, people watching you, YouTube is your friend.
What do you prefer? Do you prefer doing it alone or with
I prefer
people?
doing it alone. I had like tons of yoga classes over the years, and I didn't always like it.
Why not?
I don't want to be like in like a class with other people. Like with me, it has to be like all about me. You feel me? I can't be up in here with like 25 people and then they all messing up and the teacher not paying me no attention and the teacher over here helping out so-and-so who don't know what the hell a downward dog means. Like, I don't want to deal with that. You feel me? Like, let me just stay home and do it where I know I'm doing it right. You feel me? And then, so, it was like, I don't like being in like big settings like that. Like, I don't like big classes, like, personally. Like when I went to college, I thrived in private school where it was me and like 9 other people in the class. When I went to like public school, I took yoga in college as well, like a public college, like a community college or whatever, Cerritos, and it was like 50 people. I didn't like it, so I transferred over to Fullerton, the Fullerton JC, and I still didn't like it. The teacher was kind of mean, and he had these like jacked up toenails. Like these toenails was jacked up, and he would come and step on your hands. And you be looking at his toenails like, come on, dog, get up off me. You feel me? Like, it was so bad. And I was like, yep, this ain't for me. I know how to do yoga. Yeah. I'm not finishing up this class. I gotta go. Yeah. So, that's what happened. I have to be alone, personally. Yeah.
That makes sense. And also, I feel like being alone and being a little bit in solitude kind of leans more towards what you're talking about, the healing prospects of yoga, rather than like... Because I've done, like, brick room yoga with my brother a bunch. Nice. And, I'm like a fucking gym rat. So I approach it like, I'm going to work out. I'm going to be better than everybody in there. I'm not going to puss out. I'm not going to fucking stop doing it. I'll pass out before that happens. Faint. Fuck it.
Super determined.
I'm, like, doing push-ups afterwards, too. But, so that's, like, probably not the best. But I feel like in classes, that's what it's more geared towards. Where doing it alone is more geared towards centering yourself.
Yes.
And all that.
Yes, definitely. But some people thrive in like a group setting. Yeah. Like they probably want to know, like, oh, am I doing this right? Or can I need an instructor to like show me, the right steps and to give me pointers and how can I get better and stuff like that. But I started doing yoga. I think I might have been like 14 years old when I was like first introduced to yoga because I did ballet. So yoga and ballet go like hand in hand. So I had to, have like yoga classes. And that's when I really like learned like the basics of it, how to do it, all that. Sun salutations, which are amazing. If you just wake up and do like 3 on each side, that's popping. You feel me? What? Sun salutations. It's What's like that? A yoga. It's like a sequence of poses. Okay. So you like start off standing up, you put both of your arms up, and then you go down, then you put one leg back, and then you put the other leg back, and then you go into the snake position, then you go up to downward dog, and then you come back up, and then you do the other side. Okay. So it's like, you just like rotate side to side with the sun salutation. So if you don't want to do like the straight up yoga, like sun salutations is still yoga, but it's like a sequence of like movement. Like you don't stop, you just keep moving and keep moving. And like, if you have back problems, this right here is going to be like the problem solver, okay, to any back problems. Like that right there helps me so much. Like I just went to my chiropractor and he's like, oh my God, like you like are like barely out of alignment. Like you're doing so good. Like whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Sun salutations, people. Trust me.
Word. Yeah, I was just going to ask, how do you use yoga to help with your back issues?
Yeah, sun salutations. Like that right there helps me out so much because if I sleep wrong, if I carry like a heavy purse or something, like everything is going to be thrown off because I did ballet for like 14 years, right? So my bones pop out of place very easily. Yeah. But they could also pop back into place very easily. Yeah. But I'd rather them stay in place, I'd rather not have them pop out. But like me just carrying like some groceries into the house. If that bag is too heavy, I have to like split it towards like, even on both sides. And then if not, like my back will be hurting so freaking bad. Damn. Yeah, one time my sacrum was like rotated because I was like I slept wrong one night. Yeah. It was so bad I had to take Norco because I was in so much pain, and my chiropractor was like, sorry, I can't see you tomorrow, you gotta come the day after. And I'm like, dude, I'm in so much pain. And then my dad's like, oh, here goes a Norco. And I'm like, what the hell is that? Is that a drug? Like, I see people selling those. Like, what the hell is this? But I was in so much pain, I didn't care. And I took it, and, like, I was able to sleep that night. Damn. And I slept, like, on the floor. Like, I have, like, I used to have I do have hardwood floors in, like, certain parts of my house. Yeah. And, like, I had to, like, I slept on, like the straight-up floor. Like, that's how bad my back hurt. They say when your back hurts you have to sleep. You can't sleep on the bed. The bed will like mess you up even more. You gotta sleep on like a hard surface.
On what? You're on your back and your stomach.
Just on your back.
Like flat on your back.
Flat on your back.
Wow, that's crazy.
And it's not comfortable.
Yeah.
No pillow, no nothing.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Your head just lays back like that.
I guess that's supposed to put you back in alignment. Like being on the ground will like center you and it'll like, help you out and stuff. Or like go like sit up against a tree. They say that helps. Or go like lay in the grass or lay in some sand, anything like naturey, and like walk on like grass for like an hour or walk in the sand for like an hour, and that right there is supposed to like balance you out. Like wearing the shoes are gonna like throw you off or something. So it's different little tricks and stuff like that, but most of that stuff honestly didn't work for me. Like it just didn't. But yoga was the
ticket
answer.
right there.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
dope. That's really cool. I've heard that you're supposed to like sleep on your side with like a pillow between your legs.
That's how I sleep. I have like so many pillows in my bed. I literally have like maybe like 8 pillows, like the king size pillows. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So I have like. I when I sleep, I want to feel like I'm sleeping on a cloud.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why I'm, like, obsessed with that, right?
Yeah.
So I have, like, a ton of pillows. I have one behind my back. I have one in front of me. I have one between my legs. And I have one, like, like this. So whenever I sleep, I just have pillows everywhere. And it does me good.
Yeah.
Yes, it does me good. It keeps my spine, like a direct line.
Yeah, I've heard that's why you're supposed to put it between your legs. It like straightens your spine out.
Yes, because if not, boy, oh boy, I will wake up in some pain.
Yeah. Do you just accidentally like get out of that position? You wake up, you're like, I'm on my back, fuck.
Yeah, it's like whenever I'm asleep, I sleep in like deep sleep. So it's like if I like turn over or something like in my sleep or whatever, like I'm not gonna know. I'm not gonna even like wake up. Like I'll wake up like, oh my god, my fucking neck is like killing me right now. Like on my back, like why did I get out of like position or whatever? So I'll wake up and I'll do yoga right away. Yeah, and it helps out a little bit, but you gotta like do it like morning and night. But once I get out of alignment, like I say, I gotta go to my chiropractor every 4 weeks to, make sure it's all good.
Have you tried acupuncture?
Yes. After I had my daughter, I had like, oh my god, a horrible pain in my neck. And I think I like slept wrong and I wasn't getting no sleep, like a newborn and all that. So, I remember I went to do acupuncture and then the guys like they look at your tongue. Like, they look at your tongue and they can tell by looking at your tongue what's wrong with you.
What?
And I learned that also. It's like in my notes also. Yeah.
Interesting. Like the spots on your tongue?
The color of your tongue, how wet your tongue is, if you have spots on it, if you have like a line somewhere, like all this stuff, it literally shows like where on your body it's like, dysfunctioning. And there's even different like tastes or whatever that you can like take to like help that part of your body. You drink like some like sour tea or drink some like spicy tea or whatever. There's different like ways to like heal yourself from that.
Wow.
By them looking at your tongue. And there's also irid. They do this also. I think it's called iridology, where they look at your eye. Yeah. Like the iris of your eye. Yeah. And if it's like discrepancies within your eye, they know where you have pain at. They know if it's something that's acute, if it's severe, if it's long term, is it swelling, what's going on. They can look at your eye and tell, and they can look at your tongue and tell. Whoa. It's some deep stuff, bro. That's wild. Yeah. So I did do acupuncture that time because my neck was hurting, and it did help. Yeah. And he saw my tongue and he said, something's wrong with your stomach. I gotta give you this needle. And then he starts putting needles all over me. Mm-hmm. And he's like, what's wrong with your stomach?
Like, what do they feel like?
Well, this was like a few days after. Oh, no, it doesn't hurt when they put the needles in you. It doesn't hurt at all. But this was like a few days after I had my daughter. So that I was trying to tell him, like, hey, I just gave birth. But he just putting the needles in me. He ain't listening. And then, no lie, afterwards, I got up and my stomach was flat. After I had my daughter. From the acupuncture. Whoa. Yes. Whoa. Yes.
That's insane.
It was like, my stomach was like flat, like right after. And I was like, bro, I just had a baby. He's like, what, are you serious? Like, is that what's wrong with your stomach? And I was like, yeah, but you made my stomach flat, so that's all good. Can you do it again next week? So, yeah.
Jeez, that is nuts. Have you ever heard of Louver? Listen, validate, understand, validate, repeat.
No, I have not. Does it have anything to do with tapping?
No, it's what helped me with working with youth and corrections is the mental health field. Louver. Listen, validate, understand, validate, repeat.
Yeah, I mean, there's different little, like, acronyms for different little stuff and all that. Validation is definitely huge because sometimes, like, these kids, they feel like nobody listens to me. Like, you know, I have, like, 10 brothers and sisters, and my parents don't care about me and this and that. Yeah. You have to, like, validate, like, who they are. And just in therapy, period, you have to validate what a person feels. You have to meet the client where they're at. So I'm trying to send my kids, they want to see the video, but my service isn't working out. But anyway, so yeah, like, you have to, like, validate that person and where they're at right now. Because wherever they're at in life, that's where they're at. You can't tell them, man, stop doing that, man. Come on, man. Get up. Do this. Do that. Yeah. You can't say that. You have to meet them where they're at and help them get up on 2 feet and start walking to whatever destination they want to work their way to, whatever their therapeutic goals are. You can't just be, like, assuming that, oh, they're faking or whatever. No, you got to meet them where they're at. You got to validate them. And that's, like, key in therapy is validating people and where they're at in their life. Yeah, because if you're, like, not, like, understanding of that, like, you should not be a therapist. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I meant empathize, but yeah, I love that she brought up tapping. What is tapping? Okay, so tapping, I learned about this when I started doing hypnotherapy. Okay, so I think I've shared this with you before. I don't know if it was on the show or not. Yeah, I remember. But yeah, so I went to hypnotherapy when I was pregnant with my daughter because I had some violent anger issues. And I was like, oh God, I'm having a girl. I don't want her to see me like this because I don't want to, you know, pass this curse, like generational curse, down to another generation. So I have to take responsibility for my actions, and I have to go and do whatever I got to do to, you know, deal with my own personal anger and violent issues. So I went to this guy, super cool guy. I know him, and he's a hypnotherapist, and then he taught me how to do tapping. If I had my other notebook, I would, like, straight up have, like, all my notes from, like, the tapping sessions. But you tap, like, right here, right here, right here, right here. It's different pressure points that you have for different things that you want to fix about yourself. Okay. And you just say it like I let go. For me, it was violence, right? So I let go of anger. I let go of violence. You know, I incorporate, you know, healthy relationships. And you, like, say these different affirmations, basically, and you're, like, releasing certain things from your body. Yeah. Like, no bullshit, y'all. I have not been violent like that. Okay? Only when provoked. Only when, like super provoked. But other than that, I don't just be out here mad. Like, I have, like, I used to have so much anger, and now I just don't care no more. Like, I don't know what it was, but the anger was transferred, okay? Like, it was like I wasn't angry no more. Like, I would have situations pop up where I know normally I would be like, oh, hell no. Yeah. And then after the tap-in, like, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I did that, like, my whole pregnancy. I had my daughter. And, like, everything's been, like, really smooth. Like, things have been, like, really good. And, like, you can always go back and, you know, do it some more or whatever for different reasons. But, yeah, like, I'm good. Like, tapping was, like, so powerful. And then it's so funny because I seen a commercial. Was it a commercial that I seen? Yeah, it was a commercial that I seen. And it was these kids. And they were in, like, schools. And, like, the kids who were, like, bullies, the kids who were, like, always in trouble, they had, like, a tapping therapist at the school teaching the kids how to tap. So whenever they got sent to detention, they would go to this room with this woman, and she would have them sit down. She would have, like, you know, like, healing music on, and she would have them tap. And they say that, like, the kids, like, weren't bullying no more. Even the kids who were depressed, they weren't depressed no more and all this stuff. And it's like, bro, like, why can't we incorporate this in school? Like, the school that I was recently working at, like, most recently, I stopped working like a few weeks ago, was a high school. And I was working with children, or, you know, high schoolers who are emotionally disturbed. So these kids have, like, some emotional issues, like, ooh, some crazy stuff, right? So I was like, bro, like, these kids would benefit from this, but I can't go to work and be like, let's tap. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would get in trouble for that. So it's like, bro, like, I want to, like, get involved with that somehow. Like, I want to, like, go to schools and, like, you know, teach kids this stuff. Because I feel like if we, like, you know, get the information ourselves, we can't hoard the information. We have to pass the information back down, you know, to the youth primarily, because that's the future of, you know, the world is the youth. So, yeah, I thought that was so powerful. Like, that was, like, so amazing. But I just feel like we're seeing, like, a lot of advancements right now when it comes to mental health, and also when it comes to, like, you know, like, therapy services. Because before, when I first started doing therapy, if you want to see a therapist, you had to go into their office and you lay on their couch and all this stuff. That's how it was. And then I started working for other programs that were like, you know, like pilot programs basically, but they ended up being permanent because it was like, okay, we're gonna go see the kid at their school, we're gonna go see the kid at their house. The county would, you know, fund, you know, you to get them like coping mechanisms and coping skills and, you know, coping baskets, and, you know, they give you some gas money to travel and all that. I had like a case of like 15 kids. I would see them all like once or twice a week. And I would go to their schools, I would go to their homes, I would go see them while they were locked up in juvenile hall. I would take them to court and like everything. And it was like so effective.
Yeah, that's great.
Like it was so effective. And then that's when they, you know, took it a step further and said, okay, we're teaching the kids all this stuff. They're so amazing, they're learning, but their parents are like, you know, some of these kids be fucked up because of their parents. We just don't say it like that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So we started doing parent services as well, to where you serve the kid and you serve the parent.
Amazing.
And if they have siblings, there are people who are going to come in and help the siblings.
Yeah.
So it was like, it was so effective. It was like wraparound services. And there's like, you know, different positions in there for different people to, you know, work with like the whole family basically. And there was even like a community. It was like a apartment, and then there was like some guy who like ran the apartment. He was not nice. We even started helping him out and, you know, giving him services, because it's like, you know, he's like an integral part of, you know, this family.
Yeah.
And he's not nice to them.
Yeah.
So like, should we go over there and like report him and, you know, go off on him? Like, no, we can't do that. We had to offer him services and see what we can do to help him. Turns out this guy's like super stressed out.
Yeah.
He has like all these fucking tenants. Like some of them are not good people, you know. So it was like, you know, he was just stressed out, and that's all it was. So we were able to see like so much advancement, you know, from like, you know, helping everybody. And I feel like that type of therapy is like so important, and that type of mental health is so important, and that's what's going to push us forward in the future. Yes.
Totally agree.
Yes. Definitely.
Yeah, it's really truthfully amazing how people are becoming more accepting of therapy and mental health in general.
Yes. I have a friend that I know that like, nothing's wrong with this guy. This guy's fine, but he's like, oh yeah, I just started going to therapy, and like you know, the older people of the family was like, oh my god, stop everything. Are you okay? Like, what? Why are you doing this?
Yeah,
and it was like, bro, like, if he wants to go and talk to somebody, let him go and talk to somebody. Like, oh my God. Like the older generation was like going nuts. And I was like, bro, I'm a therapist. Like, that's normal for him to go and, like, talk to somebody.
Yeah.
That's, like, super normal. Oh, no, that's bad.
If anything, that's incredibly strong of him to go when he's not going through anything.
Exactly.
That's really impressive. That's somebody's like, man, I just want to go do that.
Exactly. That's what I'm like, it's like a generational thing, you know?
Totally is.
Like, the older generation, they have a certain mind frame, and that's what kind of, like, you know, ruled us for a very long time.
Yep.
And now it's like, you know, like we're taking over, like now our generation pretty much, you know, like we're so strong, we're coming together, the youth are so strong, they're coming together, they're educating themselves, like information is at like the tip of our fingers these days. Like back in like I try not to like, you know, judge like, you know, my grandma too much, my dad, and people, you know, from back in the day and all that. I know they was born in 1960 something, 1940 something, whatever the hell. And back in those days, like, they didn't have information like we have information. Like, they didn't have Google. They didn't have, you know, like, all this, like, information out there, YouTube, all this stuff. They didn't have all this information. They weren't able to, like, you know, educate themselves. They had to just, do what they were told. Like, oh, man, this right here is a way of life. You do this, you do this, you do this, and that order, and that's it. If you do anything outside of that, you're a weirdo. Like, you're not normal. Something's wrong with you. And it's like everybody wants to be normal. Everybody wants to fit in. Everybody wants to fall in line. They don't want to get in trouble or whatever the hell the case is. So they just went along with that. Like, I tell my dad, like, Dad, why do you do that? Oh, because my parents did it. But Dad, that's wrong. Like, that's not good or whatever. Like, oh my God. He's like, oh, if my parents did it, then I have to honor them by doing the same.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, Dad, sorry, I don't believe that. You know, like, to me, that's just like, no.
Totally.
It's like certain little things. It's just like, bro, come on now. But I feel like these days, like, there's so many advancements happening, and we gotta just run with it.
Yes.
We have to just run with it.
Of course.
For sure. Yeah.
Of course. I mean, like, it's it's like such a disservice to yourself for not enriching your mind, body, and soul, like you said.
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
It's a terrible thing, and like your friend that's going to therapy, and there's nothing he's really facing that's challenging.
Exactly.
It's impressive.
Yes, exactly. You don't always see that these days. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're starting to see it more though. Like these are people I never thought to see them in therapy. I know other people as well who hit me up like, hey, do you have any resources for me? Like, I know you're a therapist.
Yeah.
I know I can't see you, but like, do you know any place that I can go?
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, I have resources. Like, here, check this out. Check that. If you have insurance, check this out. Like, do this, do that. But I'm starting to see more insurance companies are starting to offer therapy to people. Sometimes it might be like group therapy or whatever. If you like that, and like the individual therapy might be kind of like limited in some places, but I know like I have Kaiser, and like they offer like individual therapy. It could either be over the phone, it could be virtual, it could be in person. You know, they have like a lot of options.
Yeah.
And that's like so amazing because like 10 years ago they were not.
Oh, of course
they were not offering that.
Yeah, they're like, is it court ordered? No. Fuck no, we ain't paying for that shit.
right, exactly. Like it's crazy. It's crazy to even look back in those days and be like, bro, that's how life was. Like, you know, for us, we lived through that. You know what I'm saying? Like in our lifetime, we're seeing these changes happen.
Totally.
Like we're gonna see more changes happen. So I'm just excited for the future and you know what's to come.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
it is
definitely.
exciting.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if the chat has any questions for you. Schools need to step up the rehabilitation practice.
Absolutely.
Some of the most productive sessions I had with clients was shooting hoops, playing board games, with having conversations. Yeah, man.
That's awesome.
Cool stuff. So, you want to plug your stuff you got coming up?
Yes, of course. So I have my brand, 7 Wonders, okay? 7 Wonders, CEVYN. I will have my website out on December 19th. So definitely look out for that. I have like a ton of healing things as well, okay? And speaking of the healing things that I have, I did bring something for you today.
Oh my gosh. You're always so nice. You always bring gifts. Is this sage?
Yes, it is.
Yes, I just ran out of sage, man.
Awesome.
RX to the rescue. Hell yeah. Is this your
Yes,
thing?
that is one of 3 of my healing oils. Okay, so this one here that I'm gifting you today, this one here is called Calming Amethyst. So this right here is for like you to just like, you know, calm down, for your mind to just calm down. It's infused with lavender oil, which lavender oil is an essential oil, and it's very, very good for you to just like relax. So like, you know, put yourself in more like a relaxed state of mind. And then the crystals that I have in there are amethyst, and those right there are also, you know, for, you know, your crown chakra. So you'd have to just roll that on your pulse points. Rub some like, you know, your crown chakra, and you could just like take a load off and just relax and just use that right there to just, you know, calm yourself down after a long day. And I have other ones as well. I have one called Heavenly Loved, and that one there is for the heart chakra. That one there, the Heavenly Love, that right there is infused with essential rose oil, as well as rose quartz as well. The other one that I have is called I Am Power, and that one right there is for like, you know, confidence, to build up your confidence, to you know, feel more in power of yourself and to empower yourself. So yeah, I have those oils there, and I have other oils that I'll be debuting not until January, but those are going to be like specific chakra oils. So I have like a ton of stuff coming out for you guys. I have skincare products. Everything is infused with crystals. Everything has, you know, essential oils. Because like I said, I took the aromatherapy class, and I'm an aromatherapist, and I had to use that in my business to like, you know, help people to heal. Because, you know, 7 Wonders, mind, body, and soul. So definitely, you know, guys, look out for that. I'm super excited. I will have sage, Palo Santo. I have chakra sage. I have regular white sage. And I have shea butters. I have face scrubs. I have lip scrubs. I have body scrubs. I have different types of shea butters, cocoa butters, mango butters, everything. And everything's infused with crystals as well as essential oils.
Where can they go to get this?
So my website isn't up yet, but my website is 7wonders.shop. So whenever you guys are ready to come and shop with RX after the 19th of December, it's like a few weeks away, I have everything. I have it all ready to go for y'all, okay? So definitely keep up with what I got going on. I will be putting out actually I have the Instagram set up. I need to put some pictures on there. So yeah, 7 Wonders. CEVYN Wonders. 7 Wonders. Yes. Yes.
Always a pleasure with you, RX.
Yes, I love coming
So incredible.
here.
Everybody's loving it in there. This is so exciting. Marcus Brown, really appreciate this. I love learning new things. Hell yeah.
Nice. I'm glad you guys are in tune. Thank you guys for tuning in, and definitely keep, looking out for all the wonderful things that I have coming for you guys. Definitely.
That's fucking right. RX, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Alrighty. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.